Hello student, welcome to digital classes. This video is for class 6. The subject is science and this is the continue of the chapter number 9, basically the second part of the chapter number 9. The chapter 9 is the living organism and their surrounding. In the previous video I told you about I explained about the habitat and the type of habitat. In the second part of the video I am going to tell you about the component of habitat. The component of habitats are biotic and abiotic component, then adaptation in animals and plant to the different habitat, like a permanent adaptation and a temporary adaptation. And one more topic, arboreal habitat, that I not included in the first part. We know that the type of habitats are three type. One is the terrestrial habitat or a land habitat, second is the aquatic or water habitat, and third is the aerial and arboreal habitat. In this video I am going to tell you about the third, arboreal habitat. Now let us start this video. First I tell you about the meaning of arboreal. There are quails, woodpeckers, sloths, squirrel and countless other species happily living life with their heads in the cloud. No, they are not absent-minded. Their head are actually in the clouds, as they are arboreal, meaning they live in the trees. The name makes sense since arboreal comes from a Latin word from tree. Let's expose some arboreal habitats as well as the creatures that inhabit them. The organisms that use trees for their activities are known as arboreal organism. All birds like or such as eagle, vultures, etc. are the arboreal. The organisms which use both water and land as their habitat are known as amphibian organism, like frog, crocodile are the amphibians. Arboreal habitat characteristic. An arboreal habitat is the home for organisms that live on trees or in trees. Habitats provide creatures with adequate food, shelter and other conditions so they can thrive or reproduce. Arboreal habitats can vary from the caropia trees in tropical rainforest to the white spruce of the Arctic. In fact, wherever there are trees, there's likely an organism filling the arboreal habitat. This can include the canopy, the branches inside of the tree and even roots of the tree. Now the types and example of the arboreal. The list of arboreal creatures and the habitat is long and varied. There are insects, rodents, birds, mammals and even fungi that live in tree. While we can't cover all of them, let's explore a few creatures and their arboreal habitats. Now let us first start with mammals. Sloths inhabit the forest of Central and South America and have special stomach to help them obtain nutrients from leaf as well as curved claws to help them grip onto branches. Now let's head over the Northern America and check out the arboreal red squirrel, which inhabits both deciduous tree with leaves and coniferous tree with needles tree of North America. They have a bushy tail to help with balance and claws to help them grip. They eat corn seeds and insects. Now limbs and tails. Many arboreal animals have elongated limbs that allow them to swing efficiently from branch to branch. Many monkey species shows this anatomical adaptation. Several creatures have long tail called phenosile tail that can grasp branches and act as an extra limbs. Spider monkey, possums, chameleons are the example of animals that use their tails to help move and stabilize themselves in the tree of canopy. Feet and claws. It is important that animal living in trees can grip well. Some arboreal animals like squirrels have ankles joints that are highly flexible, allowing the foot to point backwards so claws can hook into the tree's bark when they are coming down the tree. Many arboreal animals have claws to grip into the trees, while others have adhesive pads that trees frog and geckos. Primates have hairless fingertips of gripping and chameleons have mitten-like feet to grasp branches. Now the size of the arboreal animals. The size of an arboreal animal influences the places it can go. Smaller animal can move through more cultured habitat and can access smaller branches that will not take the weight of bigger animals. This can be an advantage in food gathering. Size and weight are also important for the animals who use gliding motions to move from tree to tree, like monkeys. Small species like bat often hang from branches, but so can large animals like sloth, which achieve stability by hanging from their powerful claws. Now these are the animal. I just take a pic to show you how these animals are able to survive or able to stay at trees. You can see these are the some birds, animal like snakes, monkeys are able to stay at trees. Now the component of habitat. The two components of a habitat are biotic component and abiotic component. Biotic component are those all living beings such as human beings, animals, plant and microorganism are called the biotic component. Biotic component are also called living component. Abiotic component. All non-living things such as soil, water bodies, atmosphere and meteorological factors such as sunlight, temperature, rainfall, wind speed, etc. are called abiotic component. Abiotic component are also called non-living component. Now I repeat, abiotic component. Abiotic component are the non-living components of an ecosystem affecting the life of organism. Abiotic component can be harmful to the ecosystem. Abiotic components are temperature, light, water, soil, rocks, sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, protein, lipids, carbohydrates, and humic substances, etc. These specific abiotic factors represent the geological, geographical, hydrological, and climatological feature of a particular ecosystem. Temperature. Most life exists within a fairly narrow range of temperature from about 0 degrees Celsius to about 550 degrees Celsius. Few organisms can maintain an active metabolism below 0 degree or long, and most organism enzymes are denatured. They lose their shape and stop working above 50 degrees Celsius. However, extraordinary adaptation enables certain species to live at extreme conditions. For example, polar bears are able to live in polar region because of a thick fur and a layer of fat which insulate their body during severe winter. It influences organisms in distinct way. Animals have clear distinction between being cold blooded or a warm blooded. Migration is seen in some animals. Rate of respiration increase with increase in temperature. Water absorption decrease at low temperature. Stimulated the growth of seedlings. Sunlight. The sun provides light and warmth, and it is the energy source for almost all ecosystem on earth. Sunlight powers photosynthesis by plants, the main producer in most terrestrial ecosystem. Plants are the producer. They are able to perform photosynthesis with the help of inorganic substances, and directly or indirectly we are dependent on plant for our survival. Means herbivores like deer get food from the grass, plants, etc. Light influence on organisms, enabling the organism to see or to be seen, essential for growth of green plants. In mammals, it play a vital role in formation of substances such as vitamin D. It regulates quantities of calcium and phosphorus also. Wind. Many plants use the help of the wind to disperse seed over long distances. Organisms disperse to find new habitats rich in rich in needed resources. Strong wind can be destructive. It may cause severe damage to our life and properties. Water. Water is one of the nature's most important thing, essential for life of an organism survival. Water is necessary for digestion and absorption of food. It helps in maintaining proper muscle tone, supplies oxygen and nutrients to the cell. It rids the body of water and serve as a natural air conditioning system. Means while sweating we feel cool when the sweat evaporates from the surface of the skin. Effect of water affects all the vital functions of an organism. It controls the structure and distribution of communities. It influences morphology and physiology of organism. Minerals in the soil get dissolved in water and absorbed by the plant with the help of their roots. Means roots are able to absorb water from the soil and the dissolved nutrients also. And the last component of abiotic factor is humidity. In the atmosphere, water is present in the form of water vapors called atmospheric humidities. Clouds and fogs are visible from the form of humidity. Major sources evaporation of water and transpiration. Humidity is expressed in different terms. Specific humidity, amount of water vapor present per unit weight of air. Absolute humidity, the amount of water vapors present per unit volume of air at saturation. Relative humidity, amount of water vapor actually present in air and expressed as percentage of the amount which the air can be hold at saturation at existing temperature. Now the biotic component. The biotic components ranges from extremely small bacteria which live in the air, water and soil, algae which live in fresh water and salty water, to the terrestrial plant which ranges from grasses and herbs that grow after the monsoon of every year to the giant long lived trees of the forest. The living component of the animal world ranges from microscopic animal to small insects and larger animals such as fish, amphibian, reptile, etc. Biotic component is distinguished into autotroph, heterotroph and saprotrophs. Autotrophs are also called the producer. These are photosynthetic plants, generally chlorophyll bearing, which synthesize high energy complex organic compound food into inorganic raw materials with the help of sunlight, and the process is referred as photosynthesis. Autotrophs form the basic of any biotic system. In terrestrial ecosystem, the autotrophs are mainly the rooted plants. Adaptation in animals and plants to different habitats. The tendency of an organism to develop certain specific feature which improve the chance of its survival in that environment in which it lives is known as adaptation. In response to a particular environment, an organism brings about certain changes in their structure and function of its body and make it well studied to the environment. For example, camels and desert rats are adapted to the desert habitat. Adaptation is of two types: permanent adaptation and temporary adaptation. There is two type of adaptation: permanent and temporary adaptation. Permanent adaptation has a genetic basis and cause permanent changes in the individuals. For example, camel is well adapted to desert environment and not to the water. A fish is well adapted to live in water. Temporary adaptation is a short-term adaptation and is not inherited. For example, a bird adapted to live in the cage is a temporary adaptation. Here we are describing some typical causes of adaptation adopted by some organism living in a particular habitat. I will cover this topic in the next video. I hope everyone would understand what I taught in this video. If there is any doubt or any confusion, you can ask within a class to clear yourself.